I know. This is the video you have all been waiting for. If you know anything about me, you'll know that I love matcha and especially matcha lattes. I used to spend like a lot of money on matcha at cafes, and if there's a silver lining from this year being turned upside down, it's that I've learned how to make my own almond milk matcha lattes at home, and not only is it one of my favorite things to do now, but I've probably saved a ton of money. Hopefully you're here because you want to learn how to make matcha lattes at home. But I also want to talk just briefly about what exactly matcha is so that you can better understand why I make it the way that I do. If you want to skip ahead to just learn the steps I take to make my matcha at home, skip ahead to the timestamp indicated right here. So, what is matcha? Matcha is a type of green tea, but instead of soaking the tea leaves in hot water for drinking, the leaves get ground up into a bright green powder. Matcha contains a high level of chlorophyll content, so on its own it has a quite bitter sort of taste. The best matcha is grown in Japan, and Uji, Kyoto is known as the town of matcha. So if you're looking for high quality matcha, make sure to check where the matcha you're buying is being sourced from. The growers in the region of Uji have especially high standards for quality and production, since this is what they're known for. I've also read that Nishio Aichi is producing 60% of the matcha grown in Japan, which is largely due to its extremely fertile soil and it has proper elevation. Together, these two conditions create the ideal place for the shade-growing matcha plant to grow. Matcha is a caffeinated tea and has high levels of antioxidants, amino acids, and other nutrients more than most other teas because the whole leaf is consumed. Matcha is known to have great health benefits. So if you want to learn even more about matcha and about all of this, I'll include a link in the description to the article I've been referencing for this video. Okay, so why does any of that matter? Well, I love drinking matcha not only because of the taste and what it provides me from a health standpoint, but also because of the ritual, which stems from the history of matcha consumption in Japan. I've yet to visit Japan, but it is very high on my list of places to travel to, and I cannot wait for the day that I can participate in a traditional tea ceremony in Kyoto. I will say, I probably started drinking matcha regularly about 3 years ago, and back then I was way less knowledgeable about matcha, how to make it, where it was from, what was good quality matcha, all those sorts of things. I just knew I liked the bitter taste, and living in San Francisco, it was becoming a popular menu item. I also cannot drink coffee, it makes me super jittery, so matcha was a good alternative option for me to buy when out at a cafe with friends. So, as someone who enjoys the routine of making more of a traditional matcha latte, these are the items you will need to get started. A bamboo whisk, a matcha bowl, preferably a wide-rimmed ceramic one that is special to you, a strainer, and a drinking cup. For measuring, you will need a teaspoon and a quarter cup. And for ingredients, you will need water, ice, milk or a milk alternative, and matcha. I buy my matcha from 3 of my favorite local Bay Area tea shops, and I usually just switch up where I buy from each time I purchase. These 3 tea shops really know their stuff when it comes to making tea and know where to source quality products from. So I super trust them, and I also want to support their businesses. The first is Asha Tea House. They have 2 stores, one that's located in downtown San Francisco and the other located in Berkeley. The second is Stone Mill Matcha, which is located in the Mission District, which is nearby to where I live here in San Francisco. And the last one is Matcha, which is a local milk tea company that a close friend of mine started this year. Matcha is only selling products online as of right now, and they do delivery to locals in the Bay Area. If you order matcha from any of these places, you're going to be set. Quality matcha will typically cost somewhere between 20 to 40-ish US dollars per tin, depending on the grade. Now, I know not everyone cares about purchasing quality matcha, so if that's you, there's no judgment. I always recommend experimenting with what you like and ultimately purchasing products that best work for you. That's most important. To get started, heat up your water. If you have the option, heat your water up to exactly 175 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't have that option right now, so I try and guess. To give you some perspective, boiling is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, fill up your cup with ice cubes. The cup I typically use for drinking is a 16-ounce wide mouth mason jar, and I fill it with about 5 ice cubes. Then measure out 1 cup of milk and pour it into your glass with ice. Now that you're all prepped, you're ready to whisk. Measure out about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of matcha and put it onto your strainer that's over your matcha bowl. Press the matcha through the strainer and into the bowl until it's all the way through. Good quality matcha will come in a tin container like this one and will require you to refrigerate it after it's opened, so don't forget to put your matcha and your milk back into the fridge. Next, fill your quarter cup up with hot water and pour just less than half of it into the bowl. Use your bamboo whisk to start mixing the water and matcha together. At this point, you should start to smell the bitterness of the matcha. Smelling this aroma is a part of the ceremony of making matcha. Pour the rest of the hot water into the bowl and for about 30 seconds, whisk the matcha quickly in a Z formation. When you start to see the matcha get foamy and lighter at the top, you'll know you're doing things right. With matcha, it's not just about dissolving the powder in water, you need to help oxygenate the matcha. When you're ready, pour your matcha into the cup and watch it seep into the glass. Stir to combine the matcha and milk, and then you're ready to go. I will say I enjoy my matcha lattes to be more bitter than most others I know, so at this point you could experiment with different sweeteners, but I can't help advise you on the right amount. You could also experiment with trying milk alternatives that already have sweetness to them as well. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful for you, especially if you're new to matcha and want to integrate it into your morning routine. Like I said, this is one of my very favorite things to do now in the morning to get myself ready for the day. This really brings me joy. If you're new to my channel, I typically make videos about design, careers in tech, life in San Francisco, that kind of stuff. So if you're into any of that, well, I'd love for you to be a subscriber. That is all for now. I hope to see you next time. Bye. That's a wrap.